I picked this extract for numerous reasons. It exemplifies many of the themes that run throughout the entire film, such as that of isolation, growing up, environmentalism, and identity. It also displays meaning through film elements and is heavily influenced by the socio-cultural context of the film. The director of this film, Hayao Miyazaki, was born in 1941 in the midst of World War II. His father became extremely wealthy, creating bomber planes for the war effort. However, Miyazaki was ashamed of his affluence at the expense of others' suffering. By 2001, Miyazaki became a well-known film producer, although Japan as a whole experienced a taxing year. The 9/11 terrorist attacks on United States soil caused Japan's stock exchange to plummet. A new prime minister was elected despite low favorability ratings throughout the country, and water pollution was an increasing concern. Large amounts of industrialization throughout the country led to increased levels of acid, DDT, and mercury in water sources such as lakes and rivers. Spirited Away exemplifies this through the character of the stink spirit, who plays a large role within my excerpt. Hayao Miyazaki once stated, "Creating animation means creating a fictional world. That world soothes the spirit of those who are disheartened and exhausted from dealing with the sharp edges of reality." The release of Spirited Away acted as a source of national encouragement in these trying times. Moving on to the film's genre, one must consider the origins of anime before analyzing its application within the film. Anime is heavily influenced by the post-World War II occupation of Japan by the United States Armed Forces. As Western images became increasingly prevalent in this society, the art of the time reflects this. Sen actually exemplifies many of the Western characteristics commonly found in anime, such as large eyes, small nose, and long legs. This film is iconic, mainly because it is one of a very select few full-length films made entirely from hand-drawn animation. This means that all characters, both major and minor, as well as backgrounds, are given the same amount of thought and detail. In the early 1980s, CGI became the prevalent form of animation internationally. This was mainly due to the fact that hand-drawn animation was time-consuming and costly. The success of Spirited Away can be credited to its ability to cross generational and international boundaries. The purpose of cinema is to display the human experience. The better this job is done, the more people can connect with this film. Spirited Away did this job very well, as can be seen in the critical reception of the film. Not only did Spirited Away receive an Academy Award in a country it was not produced in, but it grossed more than Titanic in Japan, and is the first foreign film in history to open in the United States, having already made $200 million. Roger Ebert, a well-known film critic, stated that Mr. Miyazaki's specialty is taking a primal wish of kids, transporting them to a fantasy land, and then marooning them there. No one else conjures the phantasmagoric and shifting morality of dreams, that fascinating and frightening aspect of having something that seems to represent good become evil in the way this master Japanese animator does. As I stated, I chose this excerpt because it exemplifies many of the themes that run throughout the entire film. The first of these themes present in the extract is that of isolation. At the beginning of the extract, Sen is told to take care of the stink spirit by herself. In these shots at the beginning of the excerpt, Sen is shown as being extremely isolated. She crosses the frame with the stink spirit following her, and she is almost thrown off to the edge of the frame, like she is an afterthought in later shots. The next theme of the extract is that of growing up. Over the course of the 5 minutes, Sen develops from increasingly incompetent to mature through her perseverance. At the beginning of the extract, one character states that she'll waste all the water as Sen falls into mud, is unable to find the faucet, drops numerous bath tokens, and even falls into the tub at one point. When the theme of growing up is emphasized, Sen is placed close within the frame to her mentors, such as Lin. By the end of the 5 minutes, Sen displays her maturity by getting to work on the spirit's bath. Over the course of the extract, Yubaba is shown through numerous low-angle shots displaying her power. She is watching Sen's every move and appears almost godlike. It is also noteworthy to state that Sen is the only character, including Yubaba, who stays after the pollutants have been cleared from the spirit to make sure that the spirit is cared for. This further emphasizes her maturity. This leads us to the next theme, which is that of environmentalism. The entire cast of Spirited Away shows open disgust towards the stink spirit. Hayao Miyazaki emphasizes this with the fact that the spirit spoils food that is in close proximity to it. However, Sen discovers that the stink spirit is not actually a stink spirit, but is in fact a river spirit who is full of pollutants. She then clears the pollutants from the spirit with the help of the other employees, and the spirit reveals its true self. This brings us to the next theme, which is that of identity. Just as the spirit becomes its true self with the help of the bathhouse employees, Sen becomes her true self with the assistance of Lin and other mentors. By the end of this extract, we see the true Sen, determined, hardworking, and intelligent. In other words, the exact opposite of the character that we are first introduced to at the beginning of the extract. Moving on to analysis, Yubaba's influence over her employees is emphasized throughout the extract. She is not only shown through low-angle shots, but she is also shown with extremely detailed backgrounds and ornate garments, jewelry, and makeup. This can be directly contrasted with the employees, such as Sen. Sen, more often than not, has her hair in a ponytail, wears plain clothes, and is shown with an extremely monochrome background. Later, when Yubaba is forced to do hard labor by herself, she lowers herself to her employee's level, literally, by going down to the floor level from when she was on the upper balcony. However, it is interesting to note that although Yubaba remains slightly over her employees to retain her authority, she appears to Sen on an almost eye level. This suggests that because of the events of the extract, Sen has gained the respect and trust of Yubaba and is now viewed as a true employee. After the trash is cleared from the river spirit, it dominates the frame, with the employees of the bathhouse relegated to a single corner. This emphasizes the large amount of pollutants and is a theme that Hayao Miyazaki wanted to emphasize with this shot. When the river spirit reveals itself to Sen, it is shown in the center of the frame with no other surrounding background objects on a very monochrome background, which is a single color. This emphasizes the balance and purity that the character is designed to represent. I picked this film for numerous reasons. Being of Asian descent, I was practically raised on films from Studio Ghibli. Spirited Away is one of the many films I remember watching over and over throughout my childhood. I found it amazing that the quality of animation can still astound me today, and that the film has gained such an applicability to worldwide audiences.